The biggest difference between Neagley's spin-off and Reacher will make or break Amazon's new show. There will be one key difference between Reacher and its upcoming spin-off, and it could decide whether Prime's Neagley-centric story will succeed or fail. With Alan Ritchson returning to lead the Reacher Season 3 cast, the latest live-action adaptation of Lee Child's Jack Reacher books will become a TV franchise when Maria Sten reprises her role as Frances Neagley in her own show. However, Sten and the rest of the Neagley cast will be tasked with exploring a unique corner of the fictitious, action-packed universe. Although Sten's presence in the Reacher Season 2 cast was faithful to the source material, as Neagley appears in the book on which the show's second run was based, her casting in Season 1 placed her in the events of a story in which she didn't originally feature. The confirmation of yet another return in Reacher Season 3 confirms that showrunner Nick Santora intends to continue making heavy use of Frances Neagley, even if it means turning a blind eye to the Lee Child books, and the spin-off compounds his affinity for the character in a really interesting way. Neagley's spin-off not being adapted from the books makes the story more unpredictable. Child is fast approaching the 30-book mark in his Jack Reacher series, and so far, Neagley has appeared very little in the franchise's source material. While Reacher has a solid plan of using one book per season to create the storyline, the spin-off will be uncharted territory due to the fact the writers will be shaping an entirely original story for Sten's character. As such, while those familiar with the books have been able to accurately predict certain events in Reacher so far, this will be impossible to do with Neagley. The increased usage of Neagley in the main show is one of the biggest deviations from Child's work so far. With Sten being required to lead the spin-off, it's becoming increasingly unlikely she'll continue to be Reacher's on-screen sidekick in the main show. At least, not for a while. So, although it'll be a shame that Neagley probably won't appear as regularly alongside Ritchson's titular character, her departure will at least result in the Reacher's return to a more faithful adaptation of the Lee Child books. The fact that Neagley will be brand new content is a welcome bonus. Neagley's show not being based on Lee Child's novels risks diluting what makes Reacher work. One of Reacher's biggest appeals is the isolated, intense nature of the season-long stories. The adaptation does an awesome job of capturing the semi-anthological nature of the source material, and the established popularity of the individual books that have already been chosen to adapt is a great litmus test for how successful the live-action versions will be. Neagley doesn't share this advantage with Reacher, so the height of success the spin-off can establish remains a worrying enigma. It would be pointless for Neagley to copy Reacher's format. If this is the plan, it would make more sense to keep Maria Sten in the main show. What's more likely is that Neagley will have distinct differences in its storytelling approach and could carry the larger stories across multi-season arcs. While similar shows have proven to be successful when using this framework, existing Reacher fans may expect something more akin to the property that spawned the spin-off. Only time will tell what Neagley will look like, but there are some big decisions that need to be made. Amazon's hit series Reacher, based on the Jack Reacher novels by Lee Child, has resonated strongly with fans thanks to its faithful adaptation of the action-packed, lone wolf detective narrative. Its success rides on the muscular charisma of Alan Ritchson's portrayal of the titular character, Jack Reacher, a wandering ex-military investigator with a sharp mind and lethal combat skills. But Amazon is now poised to expand the universe with a spin-off centered on Frances Neagley, a character familiar to fans of both the books and the Reacher show. While this move offers exciting potential to dive deeper into the world of military investigations and high-stakes action, there's a major difference between the two leads that could make or break the new series. Neagley is the anti-Reacher. This distinction isn't just about surface-level traits, it's about how the characters approach the world, their personalities, and how this influences the show's potential tone and audience engagement. In Reacher, the appeal is immediate. Jack Reacher is a magnetic, larger-than-life figure who uses his sheer physical dominance and razor-sharp instincts to solve problems. Neagley, on the other hand, is a much more understated figure, preferring strategy, stealth, and efficiency over brute force. The dynamic shift from Reacher's fists-first approach to Neagley's more covert, cerebral style will drastically alter the feel of the spin-off, and how well audiences adapt to that change will determine its success. Character contrast. Reacher's power versus Neagley's precision. The foundation of Reacher's appeal lies in its protagonist's physical prowess and raw intelligence. Jack Reacher is a drifter with a past, an ex-MP with a code of ethics, but no desire to conform to society's rules. He's a man who punches first and asks questions later, often demolishing foes with his towering presence and terrifying strength. His unique combination of investigative smarts and brawn is what makes him compelling. You know, every time Jack Reacher walks into a room, action will follow. Frances Neagley, by contrast, presents a quieter, more methodical form of strength. As a former MP and current private security consultant, she shares Reacher's military background, but her style of solving problems is fundamentally different. Neagley operates in the shadows, utilizing her skills in surveillance, tactics, and strategy. Where Reacher's appeal is often primal, he represents freedom and physical domination. Neagley is more about intellect, precision, and restraint. She's equally formidable, but in ways that might not immediately translate to action-hungry viewers. The risk for Amazon's new show is that it might lack the visceral intensity that Reacher fans have come to expect, replacing brute force drama with more subtle, tension-driven storytelling. A female protagonist with a different perspective, one of the biggest shifts with Neagley's spin-off will undoubtedly be its female lead. While Reacher benefits from the hyper-masculine energy that Jack Reacher exudes, Neagley brings a different perspective, especially as a woman in the male-dominated world of military and private security work. This change in viewpoint could appeal to a broader audience, but it will also need to be handled carefully to avoid alienating the core Reacher fanbase. Neagley is not just a female version of Jack Reacher. She is a complex character with her own strengths and vulnerabilities. Her backstory includes her experience in the military police, but it also delves into her personal struggles, such as her strong aversion to physical touch, a detail that has been explored in Lee Child's novels. This aspect of her character could add depth to the spin-off, allowing for moments of introspection and emotional nuance that contrast with the straightforward confidence of Reacher. The challenge for the showrunners will be balancing Neagley's internal struggles with the action-oriented expectations set by Reacher. Tone and storytelling, action versus intrigue. While Reacher thrives on confrontations, whether they be intellectual, physical, or a combination of both, the Neagley spin-off might lean more heavily on the investigative side of things. Neagley's expertise in security and intelligence work means that her stories could involve more intricate plotting, less about the hero single-handedly taking down bad guys, and more about espionage, uncovering conspiracies, and solving complex mysteries. While there's certainly a place for this kind of narrative, it could alienate some fans who have come to love the fast-paced, fist-flying style of Reacher. On the other hand, if the show successfully emphasizes the cerebral side of the military investigation genre, it could carve out its own distinct identity. Reacher is already a well-oiled machine when it comes to brute force action. By focusing on stealth, strategy, and psychological intensity, Neagley's spin-off could complement Reacher rather than directly compete with it. This shift in tone could allow the Reacher universe to explore different aspects of military and criminal investigations, potentially attracting new fans who prefer a slower burn approach to suspense and tension.